Forget everything you thought you knew about the Wild West. You picture cowboys, saloons, and dusty English-speaking towns, right? But what if I told you that vast stretches of the American frontier were thriving with French-speaking communities, from the deep bayous of Louisiana to the trading posts of the Pacific Northwest? Imagine a world where Sacré Bleu replaced Yeehaw and French culture. Language and traditions were integral to shaping the frontier. Welcome to Western Tales Official, where history unfolds in ways that challenge everything you think you know. Today, we're unearthing the overlooked French-speaking communities of the Wild West, revealing their unique contributions, enduring legacies, and the fascinating stories that textbooks have largely ignored. Stick around, because by the end of this video, your understanding of the frontier will be forever changed. And don't forget to subscribe to Western Tales Official for more untold stories from the past. The classic image of the American West is a powerful myth. Rugged individualists conquering the wilderness alone. But the reality was far richer and more diverse. French-speaking settlers were not confined to Louisiana. Their presence stretched from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains, and even to the Pacific Northwest. These communities built towns, trading posts, and cultural hubs, challenging the Anglo-centric narrative of the frontier. The French language echoed along riverbanks, marketplaces, and frontier forts. Yet, history often overlooks these voices, favoring the cowboy and the English-speaking pioneer. As we journey through this hidden world, ask yourself, what happens when we examine history not from the lens of a dominant culture, but through the eyes of those whose stories were almost erased? The earliest French influence began with explorers and fur traders from Quebec, venturing deep into North America. These men, and later their families, established key trading posts along major rivers from the Mississippi to the Columbia. French settlers often formed strong alliances with Native American tribes, resulting in unique Métis communities where European and indigenous cultures blended seamlessly. These settlements were economic and cultural powerhouses, facilitating trade, diplomacy, and innovation. French-speaking communities didn't just survive, they thrived by fostering cooperation in regions far removed from European cities. This era also produced remarkable figures whose stories are rarely told. Traders navigating treacherous rivers, interpreters bridging linguistic divides, and settlers creating vibrant towns in what seemed like untamable wilderness. French culture in America was far from uniform. The Acadian expulsion of the 18th century gave rise to the Cajuns in Louisiana, a resilient people preserving language, food, and music in the face of displacement. Meanwhile, urban Creole societies in St. Louis and New Orleans showcased complex blends of African, French, and Spanish influences, creating rich cultural mosaics celebrated to this day. Further north and west, French Canadians ventured into logging, mining, and exploration in the Rockies and Pacific Northwest. Each of these groups contributed uniquely to frontier life, from farming techniques to music, cuisine, and legal systems. The French-speaking world of the West was far more than a linguistic footnote. It was a vibrant, living force shaping every aspect of frontier culture. French-speaking communities were integral to mapping and understanding the American frontier. Their knowledge of rivers, forests, and mountains advanced cartography, trade, and exploration. Collaborations with indigenous tribes allowed cultural and linguistic exchanges that enriched both communities. But these groups also faced challenges. Anglo expansion, language suppression, and economic marginalization threatened to erase their presence. Despite this, French settlers persisted, leaving behind tangible legacies in place names, architecture, and family lineages. The frontier was not simply won by English-speaking pioneers, was a shared landscape where multiple cultures intertwined, often in ways modern narratives fail to acknowledge. Today, traces of French culture still echo across the West. Cities, rivers, and towns bear French names. Cajun and Creole traditions thrive in Louisiana, while French dialects survive in small pockets across the Midwest and Northwest. Cultural festivals, preservation societies, and local histories are reviving awareness of these overlooked communities. Understanding the French-speaking West reminds us that history is layered, and the frontier's story is richer when we acknowledge all who contributed. It challenges us to see beyond myths, appreciating a past shaped by diverse peoples, languages, and cultures. As you reflect on these stories, ask yourself, how much of history have we misunderstood because we only listened to one voice? Subscribe to Western Tales Official and join us in uncovering the hidden truths of the American frontier.